Hi again, this is Jose, and I'm here with CEO of 3D Solar, David Ringo. David, how are you this morning again?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. Man, I'm super excited today. We're going to talk about a few things that I've been thinking about over the last week. I've learned a whole lot about applying the sizing of solar systems on my home, of how it's priced. You've answered a bunch of my questions. So what I've done is I've kind of gone out, I've taken a look, read some more material about non David Ringo material about 3D solar, about just solar power, and what I'm finding is just a lot of either confusing information, conflicting information. A lot of the companies out there are they're talking some different language, and I'm also getting some disparaging information about solar. I think people are really confused, and they're confusing maybe the past within the industry to what's available now, and you've touched on that a little bit. But things like tax credits, things like what's a typical savings scenario, what really realistically, putting the numbers together, stacking them, this is the situation, how do I save, how to put money back in my pocket. And then there's a bunch of other things I know you've encountered, some things you'd like to clear up, and we've talked about in the past. So I just want to kind of let you loose on this. First, maybe some sort of give me the typical saving scenario. Let's talk about some tax credits and what that even means, and then some other stuff that maybe you want to talk about that you've seen being talked about out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you want to start with tax credits today?
Well, you could do that. We could do the typical savings scenario. I mean, it's up to you.
Okay. Let's start with savings and how people can actually save money with solar and how it works and the mathematics behind it all. Right.
Okay, so it's not a scam.
Well, not from us.
Oh,
I
okay,
can
okay.
say that.
So there is money I can save, right? This isn't just making somebody else money, but there's actual tangible savings here.
Absolutely. There's absolutely good investments in solar, and we're not the only ones, but there are plenty of companies out there that are not a good investment. There's some out there that are trying to make as much money as they possibly can, pay their commissions out as much as they can and make as much money and then get out of town and be gone. But we're not that way. We're in it for the long haul, and we do make money. We're a profitable company. We move along, and we're trying to continue to grow. But there are reasonable offers out there, and there's some that are just not very reasonable at all. So I suggest to everybody get 2-3 estimates. I really do. If you're considering getting one, then get one from us, of course, right?
Right,
But
of course.
if you're getting additional estimates, when somebody comes to me, I've had several people do this recently. As a matter of fact, I signed up somebody last night, about 20 minutes from my house. He emailed me out of the blue. I don't know how he got my email. Emailed me out of the blue and said, "Listen, I've got this system size, and I'm not terribly convinced that this is a good deal. And I know they don't install their own work." And I was like, "Well, you know what? Don't tell me what they quoted you. I don't want to know. I will give you my price, and we'll go from there." And needless to say, we signed him up last night, and we didn't bicker on price. We were so far below them, it wasn't even funny. And he said it was not even close. And we have a fair profit built into it because every company has to have a profit on a job. But we sold the job last night. Have great financing, great installations that we do ourselves, all that stuff. Everything's in house. But it's a good profit for him. He's saving about $100 a month on electric bills. So everything it comes off of, there's two major components that makes it where it's going to financially make sense for you or not. Number one is the price. It has to be, because there's no regulation on what they can charge you for solar. So people are out there charging a ridiculous number. There's a fair number, and there's, out of sight numbers that just don't make the numbers work, right? We have a price that's within that, and everybody asks me what that price is. So the variation is difference from system size to are you shaded? Do you have a metal roof? Do you have a tile roof? Do you have a shingle roof? Do you have a ground mount? There's all kinds of factors that make that number change. But the number one piece of this whole thing is the overall cost per watt. Secondly is the tax credit. So the tax credit is out there for anybody in the country. This is not a state. This is a federal tax credit. And then if you think about it, Florida, where we're talking in today and talking in terms of Florida, there's no state incentives whatsoever. I wouldn't anticipate it either. At this point in time, we always just expect just to be the federal tax credit, and that's it, nothing else. The state used to have a solar rebate years ago. At times, TECO and Duke have offered $2 a watt for people installing solar. I haven't heard of that in a while. There are small rebates from small co-ops and so on that may be available. But what we do is we consider the tax credit as the only real driving force to help us with rebates and cash back. So tax credit, the way I use the analogy is, what's your favorite place to eat, Jose? Where do you like going to eat?
Man, I love Burn Steakhouse.
Burn Steakhouse. Okay, so for Christmas, and I have to agree, it's a tough one to beat there, right? That's a good one. So let's just say for Christmas, you got I have to elevate the number on this one. You got a $500 gift card on Burns, and you went there for dinner and you spent $350. Well, they don't give you the $150 balance back.
Okay.
Right? But what you do is you get a free meal out of that card, and then you got 150 carryover, because $350 is about an average price for a meal for people there-ish. I'm just guessing. It's been a while since I've been there. But then you would have $150 left on the card that you can use later. So the way the tax credits are built is you don't get cash. You get a credit for what you would be paying in taxes. So if you have a tax liability this year and you're going to be paying taxes of $10,000 and you have a tax credit or a gift card, if you will, of $15,000, that $10,000 are wiped out. You don't have to pay the $10,000, but you don't get the $5,000 from your tax credit, but you can carry it over to the next year. So you can carry that over for 3 years. So the reason I use the analogy of you didn't eat, $500 worth of a meal, your 150 can be carried over to the next time you go to eat. Same thing with the tax credit. The balance of your tax credit, if you can't absorb it all in the first year, you can absorb it the second year. And we've talked to a lot of people, and I need to make certain that you understand I'm not a CPA. I'm not a tax guy. I don't know anything about taxes. I just know some analogies and some ways of describing it. So, if you have a huge tax liability every year and you can carry it over, then that's the analogy with the card. Some people I sit with and they're like, listen, I don't have a tax liability. I make it to where I'm pretty even every year, but you're telling me I'm going to get a tax credit for $8,000. I just can't do anything with that.
Right.
As a W-2 employee or as an employee of a company, they can certainly change that next year. They can change their dependents. If they have 4 or 5 kids that they're claiming, they can claim none. They can go in there, they can change that anytime you want. There's no government regulation that tells you if you have 3 kids, you have to claim them on your taxes. You don't have to do anything like that. What you can do is go in there and claim none. So then you'll get more money up front every week in your paycheck. And at the end of the year, they tax you for more because, you made more. But if you have a tax credit at the end of that year because you have solar and you take say 10 grand more home throughout the year, guess what? That's yours to keep. So there's ways of using this. And again, this is just ideas and just things I've heard of. I'm not a CPA. I got to keep saying that in case somebody just starts listening now. But there's many ways of using that tax credit to your advantage. Also, I've been sitting with people that are retired and they're like, listen, we don't have income. We never get taxed. And I'm like, well, it's a shame you don't have any property you're selling or a CD that you want to pull out of. Or, wait a minute. So if we sell property and we get taxed for that, this tax credit will help us eliminate that tax credit? Absolutely. So they're sitting there going, listen, how about that 15 acres we own in, Pennsylvania? I was going to sell that this year, but I didn't want it to be taxed. So this can, help you with that tax liability. Again, go see your CPA, go see your tax guy, go see your tax woman, whoever your tax specialist is. And if you are doing your own taxes, I still advise you to go see somebody. Even if you've never done that in the past, go see a tax specialist. Absolutely. But the tax credit, what really irritates me, and I wish I could reach everybody out there buying solar. Everybody that's buying solar, listen to me now. Just because the sales guy sits in front of me and says you're going to get the tax credit does not mean you're going to get the tax credit. it absolutely means nothing, because he is not a tax person. He has no idea, he or she has no clue what your tax liability is unless you've had a very lengthy discussion about it. And again, they are not a tax person. Find out from your tax person if they're ready, if they can help you out. There's so many people that are told, before I get there, I'll be their second, third person in the home, and I'll be talking to them. They're like, yeah, we were told we get the tax credit. I said, what did they say? They said, well, we just get the 26% tax credit. It's not guaranteed that you get that tax credit. If you don't have tax liabilities, that means nothing to you. Exactly. So my bigger complaint about the tax credit is a wonderful tool, and it helps solar industry and as a whole. It helps the consumer purchase solar and save money and do something to save money and help them, financially, and to help the planet be a little more green, which we're always excited about. But you're not always guaranteed that tax credit. So if I go in a house, I'm always like, listen, are you sure this tax credit is going to work for you? The guy I sat with last night goes, I totally understand this, and I know I'm getting the tax credit. I make enough money that I'm paying taxes. I get this. Okay, so if somebody has that conversation with me, then we start talking the numbers. So let's just say you're buying a system for, I'm going to make the numbers easy. So it's a $10,000 solar system. What the financing does for the solar loans will be usually, they can be anywhere from 2 to 25 years. And we have loans that go out to 20. Our 20-year competitive loans are the same same payments as a 25-year loan. So we can shorten your payment, usually 60 months at the same price. So nice. I'm just not a fan of the 25-year loan. But anyway, so all these loans, if you buy a $10,000 system and 26% tax credit comes off of that, if you do get the 26% tax credit, your loan is based on the $7,400. So you can imagine your loan is so much better at 3/4 of the cost of the actual loan than the actual 10,000 to begin with. Yeah. So you can imagine the difference there. Now, just to be very clear with the tax credit, if you save purchasing solar, if you save 26% or 26 cents on the dollar, you are expected to put that back into the solar loan. So if you save $12,000, they want you to take that $12,000 put back on a solar loan, and that's what makes it so enticing. Yeah. 99% of people are like, that makes total sense, I'm going to do that. And every once in a while you get into somebody like, that's a bunch of garbage, I don't like that. I don't make those rules, man. I'm just sharing you with how those are set up. So you can imagine, if you don't get the tax credit, it's a whole different conversation, Jose, than if somebody that does get that tax credit. The 26% off is a huge deal. It's there's no different analogy. I mean, you look at buying 4 tires, buying 3 and get 1 free at the same price as buying 4 at the same. I mean, it's a huge deal, that 26% tax credit is. Yeah, that does make sense. My big thing is make certain that you get that 26% tax credit. If you do, then game on, go for it. But make sure that you get that first. That's the biggest thing, because people lie to you all the time about that.
David, so, you gave me this scenario. So, just to make it really practical for people. So you got the tax credit going on. You gave me the scenario of an individual, about a $200-something, electric bill. But then with, you were just talking about, the loan and how, the different options of the loan, but this person's options took their bill underneath their current electric bill, saved them. Mm-hmm. There was also some deferred payments, things like that. So talk to me, give us that exact scenario that you gave me so we can really understand how we're saving money here.
Well, this is why, if you read our Facebook ads and mm-hmm. you're familiar with them, you've seen them. If you read the comments on there are so many people on there that say scam alert, stay away, this is scam, because mm-hmm. the offer that we have existing on Facebook is insane, and everybody says it's just too good to be true. We go into people's homes and they won't buy that from us, that offer, because they don't believe in it, and they'll just buy a straight regular offer. But the offer that we have running on Facebook right now, and the reason I did this is because at the beginning of COVID, we were all discussing about how long is this going to last. This is huge. This is a big mm-hmm. deal. But, if you remember in February, March, we're like, this is the last couple months will be done. It's going to sweep past. We're going to be done. 3 months max, 4 months max, whatever.
Yeah.
6 months, maybe, we were thinking, it was gonna be gone, but here we are, much later than we thought. And we're still dealing with this. We're still seeing people afflicted. But anyway, what we were wanting to do is make it to where people didn't have to pay any payments for as long as we possibly could. So we got, we see all these ads for, let's just say mattresses, what are these mattress offers? Come get the mattress today, put it in your house, and your payments start in 18 months.
Yeah.
And then so we thought, well, 18 months is really ridiculous. There's no way we can do that. And then we were seeing people, like, listen, we'll give you $750 or we'll give you $1,000 at day of install if you buy from us. So we were like, that's kind of ridiculous too. So we figured, why not combine both of those? They're both ridiculous. Let's combine them. Let's see how stupid we can make this offer. So what we've done is we've offered the 18 months with no payments. It's no money out of pocket, no payments, and then $1,000 at install. And what we've done is sometimes the numbers come out to where they're paying a little less per month at month 19. But if you consider you haven't paid electric bills in 18 months and you had $1,000 handed to you. And the reason I wanted to do the $1,000 is because I knew there was a lot of people that were not going to be working. I knew there was going to be people in restaurants, service, any of these, for the state of Florida, we're a hospitality state. There's so many service people out there that we're going to need money and an infusion of some kind of money in their lives, So we were wanting to inject some money into their personal lives, and they can do with it whatever they want. Mostly, let's buy food and, pay for the car and all that kind of stuff. So our grant isn't a ton, but it's enough to be enticing, right? So then, like I said, we wanted to save people for like a year and a half on their payments. So we rolled all that in there and did that. And, we have some people that are still at 19 months, when they take over the payments, they're still saving 80 to 90 bucks a month. So imagine if I said to you, give me your electric bill for a year and a half. I will take care of your electric bill for a year and a half. And then when you do come out of that year and a half, I'm going to take, I don't know, whatever your electric bill is, I'll give you $90. You pay the electric bill and I'll give you $90. So you save 90 bucks a month. And I'm going to give you $1,000 if you let me do that. Like, that doesn't even sound reasonable.
Exactly.
If you think about it, it doesn't sound reasonable. And that's why we have a lot of people on Facebook that are just saying, man, this is the biggest scam. Watch out. And read the fine print. And I'm like, please do. I've got a list of people that have done this offer that I've given the checks myself to these clients, and they love it. I had somebody just recently right down the road from our shop. I say right down the road. 30 minutes is right down the road for us, but he's in not too far from the shop, and we just did the same thing. I gave him a check, and what we do is we give them a check for the first 18 months. So we can't pay the 18 months because I can't actually have an ACH taken out, because some of these loans, they prefer to have an ACH. Just set it and forget it, I always say. So what we do is we pay them 18 months cash up front, and then we pay them $1,000 on top of that. So if you can imagine somebody telling you that, they're just like, there's no way, that doesn't make sense. So I'm like, all right, then don't do that. If you don't like that and you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. But you don't have to sit there and call me a scammer, because I have people that have done that offer and they love it. So if we were to take and just do a different financing company that I use for just a lower interest rate that goes for 20 years, you might be able to save more per month, but you're going to be paying 60 days from the day of install. You may be able to save more money. So there's multiple offers out there, and the thing about it is we still want you to come into month 19 making, saving money. We don't want you to come in there in month 19 and being, $40 to where you're paying $40 more per month. That just doesn't make sense. So we want people to be able to save money no matter when they start paying, whether it's day 1 or day 19. But again, if we roll all those 18 months and that $1,000 in together, that's a huge savings, man. And we put that, we give that right to you at the day of install. You get a check.
So to review here, $1,000 on day of install.
Yes, sir.
We've got, 18 months of no payments. Right. So if I had about a $250 a month bill, that $250 is gone for 18 months.
Correct.
Right. So that's about $4,500 in savings right there. And then I'm going to top of that when I start saving again, or when I start paying again, I'm going to save, let's say in this scenario, 70, 80, 90 bucks a month.
Right.
And that's going to be for as long as I have the system.
Now, I can even make this even better, because if you get the tax credit at the 18 months, you're paying the tax credit, and then your loan is staying that number that I was saying, about 80 bucks a month lower. And again, this isn't every single bill.
Right.
Like if you have $100 electric bill, you're not going to be saving 80 bucks a month. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This is a $250, $300 electric bill or something along those lines. And they all pencil out differently, because like I said, you know, different roof lines and 2 stories and tile and all that stuff.
Of course.
There's a little bit of difference of variation.
But this is a realistic scenario though.
Right. His scenario is exactly that. So here we go. Let me just add to this, because everybody's like, this doesn't make sense. And I'm leery of it. So let me just say this. If you wanted to make it even more enticing at month 19, if you don't spend the $1,000 and the 18-month payments that I give you, put it in a checking account, put that money in a checking account. And you remember your $250 electric bill that you used to pay?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you put the $250 a month in the same account? So 250 times, what did you say that would be?
Yes, $4,500.
Let's put another $4,500 into that account that we just your payments, your $250 a month and the $1,000. Because what are you really out? You're saving money. If you can, put that $250 in that bank account too, because when you re-amortize that loan and when you're putting the tax credit in there, you can also pay more down to make your payments even lower on that monthly payment on your loan. So what would happen if you took that $1,000, you didn't spend it, and you were frugal with it? Because some people are very frugal. So listen to me.
Yep.
I can't say that I would have that $1,000 much more than a week, right?
Right.
If you were disciplined and you could take that $1,000, all the money we put in there for the payments, and if you took your monthly payments that you were normally paying, the $250, put a $250, transfer $250 in this account every week, or every month, not every week, but every month, and then put that towards your loan as well. You're not going to be saving 80 bucks. You'll be saving a lot more than that. Maybe it's 120. You're going to be dropping that payment down on that monthly payment for your solar loan insanely. So again, it's not like proportionate. You put 250 and you're going to save, it's a good number.
It's you reusing the money wisely and trying to get more savings than you'd normally get. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. If somebody's disciplined enough to do so. But at the same time, we weren't thinking that, when we designed this, we weren't thinking that people were going to be able to just put the $1,000 aside and do all that, and still maybe they're not. There's some people that we talk to every day. I mean, we've got people that are reaching out to us from Disney. They just laid off, 28,000 employees nationwide. I mean, the 2 locations. But we have some of them reaching out to us going, hey, we saw this offer. How can we make that work for us? And we're like, it's exactly what it says. You got a year and a half where you have to start making payments on it. So some of those people are taking advantage of it. It's a great offer. And again, like I said, you can make it even better if you were to do all the things that we talked about. Take the $1,000 and take the payments and put it into the actual account and put that back into your loan. So
this is great. So a homeowner right away can get $1,000 check, save on their electric bill, not have to pay on that for about 18 months. I mean, this is a great stimulus package you've put together. I think while we still have our government arguing about stimulus packages, we have 3D Solar right now giving us a stimulus package as homeowners right away.
It's the Florida Solar Stimulus Package.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. Now, and I want to talk a little bit later on about another way you have actually of making money by sending people to you guys. But before I get to that, David, there's some other stuff you've seen, some comments and stuff that you've seen made on your ad. And I know that, you look at sometimes Facebook and people, I think, expose a lot of their ideas because they feel brave. There's nobody there. It's 9 o'clock at night. They're in front of their computer, their cell phone, and they just kind of drop whatever it is that's on their mind and kind of just spill that all over the Facebook. But you've seen some of that spillage and you've seen some of the discussions and thoughts. And maybe you can share a few of them that maybe you'd like to, I don't know, either answer or just, maybe address a general topic of maybe the misconception that you're seeing there, or maybe even the overall misconception.
There's so many posts as I go through here. It's kind of, it's entertaining. Um, Here's this one I don't understand. And I want to bring this one up because this one it's really a misconception, but we had somebody post on here, solar systems are great. The only problem users will experience is the electrical companies. They will mismanage the billing and reset the meters to fit their earnings every 3 to 4 months with at least a huge bill problem on each annual date of application. So what they're saying is, even if you have solar, they will run, a billing cycle more than it needs to be, just to make it to where you're using more solar, more power in that month, and bill you more. But I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. And so some of the comments are just unbelievable like that. But we get so many people in here. Be careful with the PACE loan people, because they're assuming that what we're doing is a PACE loan, and we can talk PACE at some other time. But PACE program is a great program for people that are dead set on doing something solar or improving their home and they have no credit. But PACE is property assessed clean energy loan, and we can discuss that further at some other time. That's a great product. But everybody says be careful, and here I am writing back. I said, thanks for the comment. This is not a PACE loan. This is a straight up loan. We have loans for 299 and 149 and all that stuff. So, I'm reading down through here, and then the couple comments below that says, can you hook us up with a PACE program, which is kind of funny. So there's negative and positive comments on the same thing, just separated by a few lines. Here's one that says, people are saying that they get work done. How about some pictures of the panels, show some proof of bills before and later? I see nothing on this page or pics. So I posted right below that, right after that. Here's an example. This is a bill with $776. Well, I put almost $800 that is now zero. And also about 6 months later, they had over $500 credit built up. And what else would you like to see? And then, of course, there was an insane amount of wonderful questions after that. And they were like, what's his monthly payments and this and that? And so, well, don't really know because they paid cash. So if you can divert $800 a month in electric bills, what's that? Annually, it's money. $10,000, Yeah. So now that's his higher electric bill. Some of them were lower, but I don't think any of them were lower than 600. So let's just say 650 to 700. Say it's $8,500 a year, and he paid cash to get rid of it. He probably has about a 5-year return on investment. So I posted the before bill was 776, and I posted one that was a few months later, and he had the electric bill was zero, and he had $552 credit built up. So I love it when people ask, and you don't show any savings. Man, I guarantee you we can show you savings. Every time you put a solar panel on your roof, it saves money. It saves money because it's producing free energy, and it does it, I about said 24 hours a day. It doesn't do that. It does it when the sun hits it, right? So it's insane how many negative comments we have on here. But and then the one question, and I think we captured this mainly, I think you got me riled up with this. And the first one is when it says, what is your cost per watt? And there's just no simple cost per watt that you can calculate. I can give you an estimation, but like I said, there's so many variables. And I think honestly, we just need to get one of these sessions. We need to get in front of a dry erase board and just talk about what all these added costs can be and how they affect us and so on. But now there's all kinds of systems in here or comments on here. And then here's one, and this is one of our clients says, I'm completely happy with our 3D solar system. I haven't paid a monthly bill over $9 this year. This is the minimum you can pay and still be hooked up to FPL. And he's got accumulated over 400 kilowatt hours in his reserve. So, wow, that's crazy. So yeah, and then somebody else wrote right below that, over the past couple months since February this year, we have over 700 kilowatt hours saved up with our solar from 3D solar system. So, I mean, there's people out there that are seeing our ads and commenting as our clients, and I couldn't thank them enough. Thank you guys for posting on there, because there are so many negative things on there, but we do have somebody combating and saying, listen, we have this system installed by them and this is what we're saving and seeing. So it's interesting. Some of it, here's one that says that's a scam, don't fall for it, and I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. And then other people are getting on there and our clients are getting on there, which is funny. They don't need to, and they're defending us. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
that's great when that happens. I mean, because, you have folks that actually fell for the scam, right? Fell for this 3D solar scam and then ended up on the plus side of it all. And they're able to say, no. If it's a scam, you should probably fall for it, because we ended up positive for it.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's always entertaining. I look at as much as I can, and there's always some kind of comment on there that just makes you scratch your head. It just doesn't make sense. But for the most part, it's an equal balance of bashing, scamming kind of stuff. And other people are like, dude, we have a system. This is what we're saving. So it's kind of an even balance, if you will. But it's entertaining. There's some things on there. And the one thing that, I'm very, I don't know the right word here. I want to say vanilla when it comes to political views and stuff like on ads. Listen, I don't care anybody's political party. I don't care what your affiliation is. But I do care about how you treat people. So if that makes sense. So we've had people get on here and start talking about racism and stuff. And there's no way I'm going to leave that on there. And if you want to get on there and talk about politics, this isn't the forum. There's forums all over so you can talk about those things, but you're not going to do it on our ads. That just doesn't make sense. So we get rid of that stuff because we do have the ability to delete ridiculous comments, and we do. But I leave a lot of negative comments out there just because everybody else, it's kind of a lightning rod. Other people will be like, yeah, I think it's a scam too. And then I'll post some stuff and information and ask them why. Listen, and I've even asked them to come on this podcast. So if you were so negative and so adamant that this is a scam, come on our podcast. Let's talk about it, because we can chat about your discussions. I'll take you to a home. I'll drive you to somebody's house that has it. You can come see the solar system on my house. I have it. So it's just entertaining. But again, I try and keep it as clean as possible. I don't let, much vulgarity. There's no vulgarity or anything like that on there. So, but I think it's an interesting read. Every day, you just never know what you're going to get. It's like it's a gift every day, so
every once in a while I go onto your ads and I see those comments. I just chuckle for the day, move on, because I just wonder in my mind what you're thinking about it. But absolutely. Well, before we forget, I do want to talk about, you have kind of a new way for folks to make some money, sending people your way. I think that so many people, because of the negative talk, because of the keyboard warriors who have the negative comments, because of some of the misinformation, maybe even past examples of legitimate gripes people have had with the solar industry in general, people are skeptical and they're looking for referrals. They're looking for someone to say, listen, I know a guy and this was my situation and this was my positive outcome. And you have plenty of those stories. But there's a way you've kind of built in now so that folks who talk with you, who believe in you, can refer you to their friends. There's a way they can make some money doing that, and I'll give you a chance to talk about that.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right, because as you can see, even read on our Facebook page and ads and all that stuff, there's still a lot of negativity and I don't disagree with the thought process in the sense that it's new and I don't trust it. And I've read about government issues and that one company that closed out in California and they got tons of millions of dollars. And I understand all that. And I believe that, some people have read some things in the past and they believe what they read at one point, and they haven't done any research or been educated on it since then. And when I say when people need to get educated, if I ever say that, I'm not saying that you're not educated, you're not smart, or you're not smarter than I am. Many people are smarter than I am. But when you start talking about a topic, make sure you're educated on that topic. And people are not educated on solar that well. And boy, you would think this would be there's a better response to what you asked. I apologize. But so with the whole point about all the negativity out there, it is hard to find somebody you can trust in this industry. And to do so, what we did is we wanted to create, listen, we have a lot of happy clients. We've thousands of people that would stand up for us. And ironically, people that somehow get on our Facebook ad and defend us without us, asking them to do so. But what we did is we created an app that you can download. You can download it from iOS for the Apple and Google Play. Both of them have it. It's a 3D solar app. And within that app, there's many things you can do. You can watch your monitoring. So if you have a system installed, you can actually go on our app, open up a page from there, and boom, there's your monitoring. You can go in there and refer somebody. So if I bought a system from 3D Solar and I wanted to refer, and I was talking to you casually, I met you, we went out for a couple of drinks, just chilling after work one day. And you're like, I see all these solar systems going up. Man, did I tell you about ours? We had it installed by 3D Solar and I love it. And you're like, hey man, can you get me in contact, or can you just tell me a little bit of information? All I have to do is push your contact, and I can go in from, there's so many different ways. I can actually type it in, or I can literally go into my phone contact, touch your information, and it automatically populates in there, and I hit submit. If you were to purchase solar from 3D Solar, I would get $1,000. So any time that I refer somebody that goes to install, I get $1,000, and it comes through the app. You can get it on Amazon cards, you can get it Visa cards, you can get it ACH, you can get it, direct deposit to your accounts, all kinds of offers, or all kinds of ways you can collect that money. But it's absolutely the easiest way. I tell everybody that when I'm dealing with somebody, it's the easiest way to make $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are talking to a lot of people, if you happen to know a lot of people or work with a lot of people or are included with a lot of groups, why wouldn't you just mention this? Listen, I joke about this a lot. There's a lot of people that like us, and I tell them, listen, if you like us, refer us and get $1,000. And of course, you're going to have people that hate you for no matter whatever reason. And I tell them, listen, if you hate us, refer us and make $1,000 off of us. Who cares if you like us or not? It's a chance to make $1,000. And if you do it quarterly or annually or monthly or weekly, it makes total sense. Because if you can, listen, let's say my solar system costs me $200. And I go out and refer somebody every 5 weeks and that goes to install, I have a free solar system. It's free because I just made $1,000 to make 5 payments of $200. But there's so much more that you can do with that app. But I will say this, that the main point that people are excited about is that they can refer people through that app. It's really easy. There's ways of uploading information from your phone, your contact list. It's just insanely easy. And people love it. They just love that app. And it's just super easy. You don't have to have a separate monitoring app. You can delete the Enphase app or so whatever you have, you can put it right in this app. You can watch that. And there's so many fun things to do. But yeah, that's something we decided to do. It's a catchy little, beautiful little, it works well. I don't understand apps. I could never design one, but we had it done, and it's really smooth. Really easy to find. It doesn't cost anything. We don't track you. Every once in a while, if we have something new and exciting going on, we might push some information out on it, but we're not tracking anybody. Don't care where you're going, nothing like that. But it's a great way to refer people and to watch your monitoring and all that kind of stuff. So, and there's a messaging app in there as well. You can message directly to your sales rep. So it's really kind of fun.
That's fantastic. That's super convenient.
Yeah.
And we should really call this episode the 3D Solar Stimulus Package episode, because you've now made ways for us to save, made ways for us to make some money on our energy, even make money just talking to friends. I mean, this is great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I've told people is, hey, listen, there's oftentimes we'll go out and drone a home and take nice pictures of the install afterwards. And I tell them, listen, put that on Facebook, tell people to ask you about it. And when they do, put their information in their referral app, make sure that they own their own home. That's pretty much the only requirement. But do they own a home? Put them in there and let's go. And if we move forward with them, you're going to make $1,000. So I don't know why you wouldn't put this all over Facebook. And, I'm with you. Have you seen my new app? Every time you do that, you can make $1,000. So I think it's a benefit to everybody. And one thing I like to do, Jose, is I like to have a win-win-win. I always want it to where everybody wins. Yeah. As a company, we win with this app because we get new clients. Our cost of acquisition is around $1,000, a little bit more, right? So for us to pay you $1,000 for a referral, it's right in line with what we're spending. The
Exactly.
client can make $1,000, which is fantastic. That's a win for anybody. And then the homeowner that we're going to install, they're going to save a ton of money, and they're going to get a great install. I guarantee it. One of the most awarded companies in Tampa, as far as solar, even in Florida, as far as solar goes,
Yeah.
it's a three-way win. I think everybody wins. I just don't know how. I just haven't found the negative portion of this yet. But I love the
No.
app, love what it does, love what it represents, and love how easy it makes for people to make some money. So
I think that there's so much here, in terms of what there's an opportunity to make some money here. There's an opportunity making money while you're saving your friends, your family money. There's an opportunity to make money while you're saving your friends, your family money, and they're getting money too. I mean, it's this whole thing is just it's a win-win for everyone all along the way. A wonderful product, wonderful service, great awarded company that's involved. I mean, honestly, it's just a great combination of things.
yeah, and
Very unique.
I love how it turned out too. The app, the designers did very well. So it turned out, it looks amazing. I'm so impressed how that looks. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's a great win all the way around. And again, I just, it makes us feel good that people are saving money, and we're helping the planet, stay green, more, and people are saving money, making money, happy. It just makes sense for us. We just love it totally. So we're very excited.
There's nothing more needed right now at this time. Being happy, being saving money, making money. I mean, and benefiting people all around. I mean, it's the kind of service and product right now at this time in history we really need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Awesome, Dave. Well, thank you, man. I thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your time today. Again, I know you've got a billion things to do, but I want to make sure we touched on those things. Anything else that you want to talk about before we let you go?
I think there's some things I really want to dig into the next one, but one thing that we're seeing a lot of that's for me personally is very frustrating is just some of the misconceptions that people are told in the home, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about the tax credit, and I want to go into that much more in detail on that at some point. We can have a whole session on the tax credit probably.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I'm seeing a ton of lately that's really, really important in my mind, because we don't want to see people misled. But if you buy a system size over over a tier 1, and it goes into a tier 2, which is anything over about 11.7 kilowatt, it's actually 10,000 AC, but I'll break that down at another session. But once it gets to a certain size, you have to have insurance on your home, and it has to be an umbrella coverage insurance. It's for $1 million. Sounds, my gosh, $1 million coverage.
Yeah.
There's so many contacts that it's around $200 a year, not monthly, a year. So we're talking about $16 a month ish. And some people are afraid of getting that insurance. So what I've seen is when you start getting into that size system, most people that I'm dealing with are saving $100 to $200 a month, can be in these systems, because we're getting in some larger systems. Maybe they're saving $100 a month, and they don't want to spend the $16 a month to have this insurance. Well, then don't go that system size, because when you sign the interconnection agreement with the utility company, it says you must attain and every year have this insurance. And if you don't have that insurance, you're going to have some serious fines or penalties levied against you. They could cut you off from the grid. There's all kinds of problems with that. And what I'm finding out, what we're seeing is there's so many people going in home saying, listen, as a sales rep, here's the story. All you have to do is pay it for the first year, and then you can drop it after that. Nobody really cares. Well, that's somebody just sitting there selling and saying something to get the sale.
Yeah.
So
That's
again,
terrible.
that's just something that we run into on occasion. We ran into that twice yesterday. If I could fix that, that's the one thing that I would change with every person representing solar. Stop lying about that. Stop lying about the tax credit. Stop lying about the insurance. So
That's the very type of thing within an industry that does create that negative feeling. People feel like they were gypped. My guy told me after the first year I could cancel it. Now I realize I can't without penalties or without endangering the power of my home.
Right. And I personally would rather know that going into it and know the truth,
Absolutely.
So when we come in behind somebody like that, they're like, no, you don't have to pay that every year. No, you really do. And I would rather lose a deal and have somebody, tell us, get lost, as opposed to having somebody sit there and believing that they can drop an insurance after year one, when it's clearly
Yeah.
stated in your contract, you must attain and every year renew your insurance or have it consistently throughout the entire system. So it's the craziest thing ever, but people are saying anything to get sales out there. So, but again, we can go through misconceptions and so on. All the misconceptions through solar at some point. And I was just sitting there thinking, wonder if we should put some kind of a poll up there and Facebook and ask people, what are their fears about solar? What are your misconceptions? What are your thoughts about, what would you like to talk about or hear about on a podcast? So I wonder if we should do that.
Yeah, maybe we should. Well,
Perfect.
David, it's been a pleasure as always to talk with you today, and we'll keep doing this. Next week, we'll talk about some more things and some more questions, maybe even some more comments from the ads and these videos. But I really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.